Welcome back to EFTM. Trevor Long, John Abood, and today we are going to actually give this a crack, John, and try and build this PC.
Good luck, Trev. You're going to need it.
Now, John, my biggest, problem right now is I don't remember the last time I built a PC, and certainly a lot of these components didn't kind of exist back then. We didn't have multiple styles of hard drives. Also, this is pretty heavy kit, and my God, the size of this
It's enormous. In fact, when I ordered it, I had no idea how big it was going to be, so it's a little daunting, but nothing we can't handle.
Also, do these light up?
They do light up.
This RAM,
This RAM
lights
lights
up. So you think we'll be able to synchronize the colors?
We'll absolutely be able to, and we're going to do our best to do that, because everyone knows it's not a gaming computer unless it flashes pretty colors.
So, what I want to do before we actually start opening some boxes, I just want you to explain a couple of things to me. Firstly, choice of motherboard. So this is a bit of an epic bit of kit.
It's
from ROG.
Yeah, big, beautiful
Maximus 11.
They all have to have ridiculously cringy names, so we've gone with the Maximus 11 Hero Wi-Fi.
Why this?
The Wi-Fi motherboard is always a great choice because in the modern era, every business and household runs on Wi-Fi.
Yep.
But this one specifically allowed us to do all the things we wanted to do. It gave us the slots for the specific type of RAM we have.
Right.
We've got DDR4 RAM, which is a little bit faster than DDR3, which is an older standard.
Yep.
Essentially, we've gone this because it's compatible. It gives us all the big, beefy parts we need. It lets us have the big, sexy graphics card and the big, sexy... So you understand the motherboard is more or less a neural network, right? It just lets all the other parts of the computer talk to each other.
Okay. That's a good way of putting it, actually, because all these things independently are their own thing. They do their own thing because, the Intel processor and the discrete graphics card are doing very separate tasks, but they need to work together. So that's why, even though we've got high-end things from two very separate companies, they link together and they need a decent neural network to link together. All right, the other question I have is hard drives. So we've got a standard-looking kind of Seagate hard drive, spinning discs hard drive.
3 terabyte.
We've got a 1 terabyte Samsung SSD.
Yes.
And then there's this 480 gigabyte brand SSD.
Yeah.
What is your plan for these three drives?
Okay, so the 480 gigabyte is a beautiful SSD to host your operating system and a few programs you want to keep running. So SSDs are obviously significantly quicker than HDDs. So all our operating system stuff, all your favorite programs will be run off this SSD.
Right, so I'll put Windows 10 on here.
Yep.
I'll put Adobe Premiere Pro on here for my video editing, and you'll put Steam on here for the odd
choice games.
That's where the games and the things, that's like you're going back in time. This is your program files drive, C/program files.
More or less, yeah. That it will be our C drive. Now this one is a nice, beautiful 1 terabyte SSD. We've slotted this one in for all of those files you're going to be accessing regularly. So if you've got template files, if you've got software that might not fit on this one, but you still want to keep it around, like maybe the rest of the Adobe suite that you use every 2 months, as opposed to the software like Premiere that you'll be using every single day, that's going to go on here.
So I use a little Samsung super fast Thunderbolt connected SSD drive for all my video editing. That's what I edit on.
Yep.
So can I use this? So this is where I keep my current project. So the project that I'm currently working on, that I'm currently editing, work off here, because then it's going to be super fast. Because you don't want to work off a spinning disk.
Absolutely not. Significantly slower than SSD. So we're going to keep all your current projects on here.
Yep.
And then we're going to archive old projects and software and files we don't need on the 3 terabyte HDD.
Yep.
And we also have the big EFTM NAS as well, so that we can store.
So basically they'll work their way down. This is working files, reasonably recent working files archive, and then onto the NAS or external storage for keeping forever, because you never throw stuff away.
And then we keep the higher end things here. Pretty much never to be touched your C drive, because you do work on projects and you forget they're there, and then at the end of the day you've filled it up with random junk that you never intended to have on there in the first place. That's what this little waterfall's for.
What do we touch first? Let's clear the desk. What do we need first?
Our motherboard.
Motherboard and what?
We'll start with the motherboard. It's a process in of itself.
Okay, let's do it. Hang on, we've just got the motherboard. It feels like a stupid thing to take out of a box because there's nothing attached. But you're saying this is motherboard marriage with the body.
Absolutely.
This is that process.
This is the basic.
This thing's enormous, but I did work out in my little tinkering while I was waiting for you. You can take the doors off and all that stuff. So should we be taking the doors and walls off and just laying this down ready to go?
Right here and now, that's what we're doing. We're going to take the walls off. We're going to get straight into the guts.
Okay.
Crack it open.
So I noticed that these just kind of... Oh, actually, this back panel comes off first. And then these just lift out.
That is beautiful. That really is nice.
Yeah. So maybe Put that down over there, I reckon. And so did you say the other side does the same thing?
Yeah.
Do we need instructions?
Absolutely not. Oh, that's the spirit. Hang on, this might be useful. No, it's fine.
What's this?
This is all customizable. It seems like these panels can move around depending on how we want to do that. That's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. Probably shouldn't have thrown that.
Okay, so we'll take all this stuff out.
Pretty funny.
Okay, so we're laying this down.
We're going to lay it down this way on its side. Yep.
Okay, it is enormous. This way or around?
This way. Yeah,
this way's
good.
fine.
Yeah, we want to keep this nice and close to us.
Okay, so I need to remove these because it's really frustrating that it has, sticker covers on it. Satisfying removing any sticker. You know that. You know it's satisfying
it's
to
the
remove
best
any
part.
sticker. Okay. I'm assuming the CPU cover stays on for now.
It does.
So this goes in the back like this because it needs to connect through here.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Well, so this guy, you reckon, just goes in here. Although I noticed there's more stickers on the back of it. Jesus. Stickers everywhere. Can't see a thing. Is it meant to come out? No. Just sit flush like that.
Should get. No, that's a good question.
I can just sit flush. Yeah, no, there's this. I can see the screw holes.
Screws? Yeah. Then it should just sit there.
So if you look in here, I can see it's lining up with this screw hole, that screw hole. Yeah, so that would be
beautiful.
So I'll put this first corner in here. There's a little digital display up there in that corner.
Excuse me?
What would that be for? See that?
Oh wow. It's a great.
What would that be for?
No idea. We're going to find out together. Looks like all it counts as numbers though.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to put both edges in. I've got to find four the same. That's the challenge here.
Jesus.
You bring that puppy over.
Oof. Public of gamers again. Good people.
So, hang on, there is a little bit of ROG stuff here.
There is a little bit. That's
is that
just
like
happened
a brand thing?
Nope, it just happened to be the case.
Okay.
ROG do very pretty products. As you can see, that motherboard is beautiful.
Yep.
Its power supply looks pretty beautiful too.
Yep.
It just happened to be the case that it had the amount of wattage we needed and it was the best price.
Okay. We just went to all the trouble of giving people a look inside, and now we're going to do something at the back here.
We are.
Yep.
One weird notion. There's a lot of cables. So, listen, cables are a necessity. They're a part of life, and they're a part of life that we actually quite enjoy. Now, would you look at that?
Wow, yeah, no, that's nice. The ROG, is it ROG? Is that what
Republic of Gamers ROG.
ROG Thor 1200. I did say in that last video we were going to go 850, I think.
850. We only need about 700.
Right, and how did you determine that?
The
How much we
calculators,
need?
online calculators. So if you were...
Yeah, on the PC Case Gear website was just a shopping cart. But he did send me something months ago where he went, this is a thing, and it converts and works out whether all the bits will work
checks
together.
for compatibility.
What's that website?
PC Part Picker. So its biggest role is checking for compatibilities.
Okay.
You give it all the parts and it tells you whether or not there's going to be a problem. It'll tell you whether or not you don't have enough power, whether or not your CPU doesn't have the right socket for the process you
So this, I'm just doing my sticker notes.
You way too much fun with those sticks.
Yeah, and I love it. So can I just break this down real simple for people? Input.
Yes.
Output.
Yes.
Yeah. These are all the outputs, and so we plug in what we need, where we need it,
Yes.
based on its power requirements, because there are different labels here, different things, so we have to be careful what we plug where.
Well,
Or they
it's laid out pretty
You can't
clearly.
get it wrong because there's either 6 or 8 or 10 or
It doesn't matter. I mean, they're
so you can't stuff that up.
You can't get that one wrong.
So this comes in which way now?
So now we're going to load this one in so that the power is facing
we've got to
out.
take the back
We're going to have to take this panel out and go from the inside most likely. It looks like we might have to either loop around or take out this panel. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare.
Okay, let's go. So, is it that one or this one? Let's have a look. So these we want to keep. So you want to check firstly that it's actually going to fit in everywhere all the way. Yeah, that's going to go all the way. Plenty of space. So now, I'm assuming actually, so it was only 2 of them at top and bottom were holding the case on. The others were
directly into the
for the actual power supply. So let me put the power supply onto the frame and then put the whole thing back in. But getting this back in is actually not as easy as it looks, mate. Okay, I need a Coke.
It's official.
And a wipe down too, Jesus Christ.
Right, well, that's on camera.
Oh!
So, what we're going to do
How do we feed them through? How do we get them to the motherboard? Through those
through
slots
these.
there.
Absolutely.
Ah, right, okay.
Oops. But more importantly, we do want to start getting our power supply cables in.
Okay, so we've now got a power supply in.
Yes.
We've got all these cables which came with the case to connect the USBs and things. We've got these access points from this kind of messy side that go in gently to the motherboard.
Yes.
So we can feed these through shortly. But what else? What do you want to get in here?
We want to get the main power into the power supply, the one that's going to feed the motherboard, and then we can worry about the rest later.
Okay.
But we want to get the motherboard power in, managed properly.
Okay.
And we'll worry about the case plugs next.
Right. Where's the motherboard power?
So you're asking a lot, Trev. Into the slot, which will be probably that way. Yeah, that's about right.
Feels
good. Yep. Nice and tight. Beautiful. And then we
they do look nice, don't they?
Just want to keep that neatly.
So you want to take as much of it out of the
absolutely as much
the
out.
open case,
nice and easy. All right. So then we have all of our.
Now we want to bring through the case cables.
Yes. So we have all these case cables. We may as well get these in. These do go all over the place. These are all case cables. By the look of it, these look lighting related more than anything else. But
what do you mean? So what are we looking for?
So if you can see here, there's tiny little labels next to these slots.
Oh my god!
So USB 2, USB 3. Actually says 34. There's all the different labels.
There's some very big ones here that don't have a label on them, mate.
Those
USB
are
3,
yeah, so those
USB 3.
These slots here. Okay, let's do the. Let's do the graphics card thing.
Okay, so
looks all pretty good to me.
All right.
Looks pretty good. In fact, the graphics card might get in the way
of everything else.
Everything else. So let's do the RAM. Let's do the RAM. Trev, we do the RAM. Do the RAM.
Oh, mum.
How pretty is it?
Very pretty. So how many? So we got 4 slices. We have to fill 4 slots.
Beautiful. Yes.
What are they? 8 each or something?
8 each or 16 each? 16 each, I think. Yeah, 16 each.
How much have we got there? 64 in total.
I'll take care of you, Trev.
Who's paying?
You take care of yourself, Trev.
I just can't believe these light up.
So, you understand these only go in one way?
I remember RAM. I've just never seen RAM like this before in my life.
It's very pretty. Okay, so...
You put it in the right way?
Slot them in. Look, we're going to figure it out together. Yeah.
So one end is slightly bigger than the other, is that what we're saying?
Yeah,
or the slot?
Yeah.
So it's that way, right?
Pretty even.
G-Skill facing out that way?
Yep.
So this RAM G-Skill Trident Z, apart from the fact that it lights up.
Yep. It's also DDR4 2400 megahertz RAM. So it's really quick RAM. That's not the right speed. I don't think 2400. But
it's just good.
It's 3200.
It's good.
It's good, fast,
and it lights up.
And it lights up.
And our only concern really now about the lighting up stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to light up in here, right? It's really, and the things that we can't find on the motherboard, it's really about synchronizing all that lighting up, yeah? The case with the insides and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well...
like that's going to light up when you power it on.
That's gonna work. The question as to whether or not things sync, I don't know what we couldn't figure out how to plug in.
All I'm saying is, we're not at a point yet where we think it's not going to work.
No, we will have lights in some capacity, yeah.
It's just a matter of whether on a piece of software you can go blue, and everything goes blue.
We're going to figure it out together.
But that can be a down the track thing. It's all good. Well, all right, we've done RAM.
Yep.
What now?
I think we should do the CPU next, because we're going to have to fit in the big CPU cooler, and that's going to have to work around the graphics card in some capacity.
So CPU's here.
Yep.
So it says remove. Do we remove that when we've got the CPU?
We're going to get that in our hands, yes, because you don't want to be damaging the pins, although it's pretty hard to do this.
Because right underneath this CPU cover are just thousands of little tiny pins where it all connects.
Yep.
This is just, is that not the coolest packaging?
My lord.
Most unnecessary.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. I mean,
because it's a tiny little thing, which you'll see in a minute, but it's being suspended in there. That's the actual packaging. Like that's the packaging. That's the CPU.
All was necessary.
The rest of it was for looks.
And for the amount of money we paid for it, I think it deserved that level of packaging.
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, look, as the EFTM accountant and benefactor, it's on you. So I'm just going to let you do this. And if you don't feel comfortable, then...
What's the worst that could happen? We ring the good people at Intel.
Great people at Intel.
And so we stuffed it up. You're right, though. It is a...
It's just not comfortable. So then you want to... Okay, right,
but now that I know what it is, having closed the mechanism, I understand that it's just... Like, it's got to be held down with force. That's the power. That's the whole brains of this thing.
CPU thing.
Oh, so that cooler...
It's just for the CPU?
This is just to cool that little Intel chip we just put in.
It is.
Wow. Okay,
This is... Oh, how exciting.
Wow, this is a car radiator! Oh my god!
So I've never done this before. It's going to get exciting.
Wow.
So there you go. So
that's the actual
heatsink.
So that's what sits on top of the CPU?
And draws the heat out of it, yep.
That's really cool. It's really cool. I've never seen anything like that. It's literally like a car radiator. Wow.
Here are our nice long
Okay, and then to go with the radiator are a bunch of fans to draw the air through the cooling component.
There we go, that's better. Right.
Okay, John Boy, let's just stop down for a second. Woo! This is harder work than I thought it would be, even with your knowledge.
Thank you.
Let's just recap what we've done. Put the motherboard in.
We did.
We've got the RAM in. We put the CPU in. We now have the CPU cooler in, which is like liquid cooled.
Yes.
It has 3 fans, a radiator which are top mounted to here.
Which was awfully frustrating an experience, but we made it happen.
We got there. The CPU cooler has a USB connection internally to the motherboard.
Yep.
And behind the motherboard, you place the fan connectors and the SATA connector, which is obviously where it's getting power.
Yep.
So we're kind of at a point now where, like, the brains and the brawn of it feel like they're in, and everything else now is,
for the most part, yeah.
Spec stuff, right? I know this is all super brawn and whatnot, but
yeah.
Graphics card, hard drives. That's it. Is it?
I think we're there.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So what we've done here... Oh, look at that puppy. So we've now put in the Samsung drive, the Gigabyte drive. These 2 SSDs are fixed solid. And then they've been wired again using John's amazing cable management around the back before they come back in here to the actual motherboard to form part of an actual computing device.
You've done a great job, and I want to make that clear.
Whew. What about the Wi-Fi antennas on this? Jesus.
Yeah, we do have things for that.
Wow. All right, what's next?
Graphics card.
Okay. Oh, and for the record,
no,
for the record, we're 1 cable down, so we're going to do the 3 terabyte drive another day.
Trevor, seriously.
Just catching people up. Oh, the sticker to remove. That's exciting. I'm a simple man. Is it?
Most people would look at a $2,000 graphics card and admire the graphics card, but...
Oh, so good. Okay, so...
That's the wrong side. You're supposed to be...
No, I'm going to look at it all.
Fans.
So, this is all going to light up, though. Is it? That looks like it's going to light up.
Yeah, it will be facing in some direction.
We have another 3 fans in the building.
It's a lot more fans than we want. But yeah.
This is obviously where it's connecting. That'll come off. That's nice. And then... Oh, these are the under there are connections, are they? Remember I said about HDMI and everything? Okay, right. Okay. So there's multiple connections. Just got to take all the plugs off to see what they are.
Oh, Oreo. Just all in my mouth.
Oreo?
Oreo.
They're Oreos.
Yeah, but if it's one single Oreo...
It's an Oreo!
That's what I said.
Where's the O? You say Oreo.
How do you spell
It's an Oreo.
How do you spell or?
It's an Oreo. You don't say Oreo. Hang on, stop right now. Uno or Uno? The game, the card game.
Uno.
That's okay. Whew.
What about the Orient Express? Oreo.
Mate, we're talking about Oreos.
Oreos.
Not Oreos.
What else? You're one saying Oreos.
You said Oreo.
Play the tape.
Oreo!
Oh, Oreo.
Thank you. Alright, come back. Let's go. It's a big computer.
It's huge.
Alright, so we put the graphics card in.
Yep.
What, I mean, are we not at a point where now we kind of plug it in and go, what works and what doesn't?
That's where we're at now. We're going to get everything plugged in, make sure it's all powered, and then just pray that it turns on.
Sure.
I'm not entirely sure, but hit that. So then we should get some lights inside. It's looking pretty good up here, getting a few lights, knowing that there is power in some capacity. And there should be a few lights inside. So if you look around in the case here, you'll see that the graphics card has a few lights on it, which is good.
The motherboard is
very pretty.
Oh, hang on, there's a start button on the motherboard too, remember?
We can use that one if we want to, but it's probably better if we use the case one.
So what you're saying is this is kind of just there's power in it, and now you think the case power button will power it on.
That would work, but the case one should work if we did it correctly.
Alright, well.
And it's looking pretty good from here.
Wow!
Now we should wait for a beep.
Look at the lights! Oh, look at that!
It's pretty
Are you seeing that?
That's pretty cool. We need a close-up shot of that. That's incredible.
Oh, mate, far out. Wow.
It's
coming around. That's actually.
We haven't heard a
lot of
beeping.
beeping.
There's no beeping.
John Boy, no, it's so colourful.
No, we do want some beeping.
We want a boot
we
beep, don't we?
We need a post beep, and we haven't got one. So, not the best news yet, but it's something.
It's not good.
Okay, so we're at 2. I said 6 times was normal.
We didn't do anything between 1 and 2, John.
Well, we did change the HDMI.
Okay.
To the motherboard, hoping that we'd get some sort of output from that. I'm just going to quickly check that the graphics card isn't putting anything out, and it doesn't look like it is. Not a great sign. A little unsure as to what the problem is. It's weird that we're not
getting, like you'd only get a beep, beep,
or
beep,
something wouldn't be starting.
That's right.
And everything seems to be running.
Because obviously we don't expect to see Windows. We haven't installed.
No, we haven't installed.
What we're expecting to see is the old black and white.
We want a BIOS. We want a big Republic of Gamers BIOS to come up and say this and that, and it's not doing that. We're just going to have a little bit of a look around and see if there's anything.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please.
What if we take the graphics card out?
We can do that.
Because the computer doesn't need the graphics card,
No, it does not. No, it's not a necessity.
That would help us eliminate one thing.
That is an issue, yeah. Okay, you know what? I think it's a great idea. Let's do it.
Okay. We have spent a little bit of time. Oh, probably 15 minutes.
Sure.
We've kind of disconnected things we didn't think were vital.
One by one.
We've been Googling, because the critical thing is the beep. We wanted to hear a beep or some indication that something was happening. No output. So now we have an output. This means we're getting somewhere. It says we have hard drive, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
It knows we have a new CPU. That's a good thing. But it's saying a CPU fan error. So we need to spend some time working out how to essentially, because this is a complex fan we put in, we need to let the motherboard know that the fan's running fine.
It's all okay, and at the moment it doesn't acknowledge that.
We did remove a few of those things to see what was wrong. So we'll put it back to how we thought it was meant to be and see whether it comes up. And then we'll load back in the graphics card and other things. And see whether we can, all the good stuff we took out. But Johnny boy, it's beautiful.
Trev, would you get a load of these lights?
Just twist it a little bit back that way because it was just so...
I mean, really.
They run all the way around.
Rails along the top.
It's very rainbow.
I nearly threw the whole.
I did. You'll see the freeze frame. I did freak out. All right, let's
try it again.
Let's get it going. Okay, John boy.
Trev, it's been a long day.
Look, it is 6 o'clock. You did get here at
1.
1-ish.
1.
So 5 hours. This is where we're at 5 hours, and bit of troubleshooting, bit of problem solving. Not, to be honest, not as much as I kind of expected, to be honest. It was going to be, I thought it was going to be real hard, but we
got there in the end.
We found it in the end. So we're pretty confident we've now got all the hardware running. We've got BIOS, boot up, setup, configuration. So we now have a Windows 10 USB, which allows you to do a clean install on a PC that's never had Windows before. So I can do a from scratch install. So I guess I could give that a go in the morning. Is that what
you could do? I'm not required for this part of the process.
But will it need internet?
No, it should be fine for the most part.
But I can run Ethernet if I need to.
If you have to, you may or may not need the drivers. There'll be a CD hanging around somewhere, or maybe we can work on that part together. Worst case,
drivers?
We can download them on one computer. You're okay, right? That's a bit much.
Just earlier, while you were doing something else, I found this. It's the Wi-Fi
yes, it is
antenna.
too.
Where the hell would that go?
You set it on top.
Oh, so you put it in. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks awful.
What?
Anyway.
Great people at Asushi.
I think it looks beautiful inside. I really like the layout of the SE.
Our lights
SSDs.
are really pretty too. That has to be considered. Everything looks stunning. That is just ridiculous. It looks beautiful.
We assume it's working. Like, we assume there's actual cooling going on.
Well, the CPU temps are really low, so we're pretty happy with that.
And I guess one of the longer term things is to get all the RGBs and all the lights configured so they are controllable.
And syncing up and looking pretty.
By the way, power usage listed on a little LCD screen.
It's just
crazy.
The best. It's just the best.
John Boy, good job.
Trev, thanks very much.
I'll be using you on WhatsApp for support as I do software install, and then you'll come back and do some driver installs and all that kind of stuff. Fun with it. And then we need to benchmark it in some way.
And play a whole lot of games.
Video editing.
Games.
All right, John Boy's not here. He's got a day job. So I'm taking on a bit of responsibility here, and I have installed Windows. Very simple process, to be honest, using the USB. Comes directly out of the box, computer boots off USB, and then you've got the Windows license key just on a little card. So that's nice and simple. It means I can keep that together too for when or if we ever rebuild it, and keep that USB there. It's all built in. It's connected to the Wi-Fi network. I've got a mouse and a keyboard. Now I've just got to do some basic things like get the Bluetooth mouse working, simple, get a better keyboard, and just do some software updates. We've got to get software for the memory, for the graphics card, do those basic things, and then I'm going to give cable management a go. John's not here. I'm going to tidy up here. I'm going to put some of the guts, some of the bulk of this PC was taken off. So we're going to put that back on and just see what it looks like, and maybe even get it on a desk. Okay. Beautiful. Look, I think we can all agree the best cable management is covered cable management. I think John will have a better look. Well, this has been exhausting, and I will tell you there's a lot to do now. We have a lot of mess to clean up. Maybe I should wait for John for that. This desk needs cleaning, it might be ruined. But you can see I've got the PC now set up on a desk. I've got to work out where we're going to put this thing permanently, but I'm just going to set it up there while John and I kind of work through it over the coming days and weeks in terms of what it can do, what it's missing. My biggest thing right now is getting the colourful lights on the case to at least be controllable, so they're not rainbow all the time. I'm happy with any colour, but it is running Adobe Premiere, so I will probably edit this video on that machine. So as best I can see, we've got a successful build. Well, I've confirmed now I've got sound working. Still got to get a Bluetooth keyboard working. I'm charging one over there. Got a wireless mouse. So a couple of little things to do. Then I can get into the edit and feel really happy about how powerful this thing hopefully is.